Hi guys, it's me. Hope everyone's having a good Monday. Happy Monday! It's the beginning of another week. Um, I thought I would do a video on banishing rituals or centering rituals, which is its proper name. Centering, banishing. Um, because I think if I had a dollar for every person who I've met over the years who has told me that they don't bother with banishing, centering rituals, and then only later to have them come back and complain to me about their magic not working, I think I would have $1,000,000 by now. No, just kidding. Um, Banishing, centering rituals or practices they were one of like the first exercises that I learned when I made the commitment to my spirituality. And by that being the first exercises that I learned, I think it has saved me so much trouble and heartache as I've gotten older and I've gotten more experienced in my spirituality. So essentially, banishing and centering, centering rituals have three different outcomes or three different goals. First, it warms you up in preparation for doing further rituals, meditations, whatever. It guiding you, helping you to release everyday thoughts, put those aside. You know, what's on TV, what's for dinner, etc. You know, they allow you to place yourself in the center of your personal magical universe. Secondly, banishing sets up your space you're working in as sacred. So your bedroom, living room, basement, attic, wherever you are becomes a temporary temple space. And thirdly, banishing, it clears the atmosphere of any psychic debris. And by psychic debris, I mean banishing rituals are pretty much the equivalent of tidying up, which should be done before any magical working anyway. Since most people aren't fortunate enough to have one room solely dedicated to magical work, a lot of us have to use common everyday areas, such as living rooms and bedrooms and things like that. So this creates an atmosphere which can pick up, which you can pick up unconscious vibrations, which during your magical workings, if you don't banish beforehand, the day-to-day vibrations of that room can and probably will disturb you while you're trying to work. And at the same time, after working, you need to dispel the vibrations that you created while working. If you don't, you might find that the vibrations you created during your work, you might find that it clashes with the everyday vibrations that you associate with that particular room. So, you know, it can be extremely useful to banish a room if there's been a particularly, you know, bad argument and there's tension in the air. If someone or yourself have been extremely emotional and it's been all in that one room, you know, crying, upset, you know, anything like that, you would want to banish, you know, clear the air, to get yourself ready for either magical work or just so you can be comfortable in that room. So that's kind of what I mean by psychic debris. A basic, when I write my banishing centering rituals, a basic guideline for me is a traditional ritual will have 3 different sections. One section to focus on the awareness of the body-mind. One section that will separate the main zones, gates, quarters, dimensions, whatever you call it, whatever you want to call it, of the chosen magical universe at which you are the center of. And then a third section is an identification with a chosen source of inspiration. You know, merging the universe with the self. A banishing can be done on a daily, you know, as a daily practice, on when you wake up in the morning, when you go to bed at night. But it should be done, you know, at the opening or closing, at the opening and closing of any kind of magical activity. And I think in time you'll find that the ritual can be done on almost on autopilot. I think for myself, I think when I have bad dreams, I have, you know, it's one of those dreams where you know you're dreaming and it's a bad dream and you just want to wake up from it, but somehow you can't. I've literally found myself in my dream, in my head, doing a banishing ritual in my dream. And 9 times out of 10, it works. So you should take it as an encouraging sign if you start having dreams about banishing. It's there to help you. And I think, and an interesting note about my dreams, it's, you know, no matter how many banishing rituals I've written, no matter, you know, or how many different ones I've done, I always, for some reason in my dreams, I always resort back to the banishing ritual that I learned when I was just starting out. It's called the, oh my god, oh, it's called the Golden Dawn Lesser Pentagram Ritual. So I don't know why that is. I think maybe because that's familiar, and it, you know, it's what I learned when I was still kind of naive about everything. So yeah, don't be, you know, if you start having dreams about banishing, it's a good thing, trust me, it's a really good thing. It can help you. The magical personality is, your magical personality is what you become when you put on your robe, light your candles, incense. The basic distinction is that you, as your normal personality, might have, you know, all kinds of doubts about, you know, what you're doing, this magic stuff, and what am I trying to say? Banishing is banishing is one of the most important bits because, you know, it gets you into the role as the powerful and confident, you know, magician. Um, and when you finish off your working, the second banishing stops you from, you know, going down to the bar or wherever your friends are, still acting as though you rule the universe, you know. So the first banishing brings you into your magical self, your magical personality. You know, brings you into that all confident witch that you are. But the second banishing kind of brings you back down, you know, into Sarah or Courtney or, you know, whatever the case may have you. So, it not only, you know, clears the air, makes things safe for you, not only does it, you know, help you to concentrate and focus on what you're doing, but it also kind of transforms you and it helps you get into character as sorts, as such. So that's my little spill on banishing and why I think it's oh so important. I can't personally give you a banishing spell because I write my own and I don't like to share my rituals because they're personal because I write them. But there's tons and tons of stuff out there on the web. There's books. You know, as you read your way through, you know, the multitude of occult books available, and you'll find lots of different banishing, you know, rituals and formats as starters, or you can take those and do them yourself. But as you do that, remember that, you know, there's no right way to do it. You know, you just have to find what works best for you in your situation in your life. So that's my spiel. Hope it wasn't boring, but I thought it was important to say. So, blessed be everyone.